I'm here. How's it pronounced? Örebro?
Örebro.
Örebro. Okay, I'm here
Almost right.
in Örebro with producer Jens Bogren, who, as I'm sure a lot of you watching this will know, Jens has produced Opeth, Arch Enemy, Monomath, Paradise Lost, amongst many others, and some incredible productions along the way. Ghost Reveries, being one of them, amongst many. But starting off, Jens, what do you feel are the central challenges that differs when you're producing modern metal music compared to other styles of music?
Well, I suppose it's the density of the I guess the total sonics, because in metal, especially the guitars, if you have like quad-tracked guitars, they will take up everything in your frequency field and spectrum, and it's that's a challenge, to have things cut through. I mean, if you have a nice sounding drum kit with a nice sounding room, and then you add these guitars, and then suddenly your drums sound like popcorn or whatever, So then you will have to start to really mix it to sort of still have that, but to be able to cut through, and that's a big difference from. I mean, I've been doing gospel albums and jazz albums back in the day, and that was never an issue. But doing working metal, you sort of you need a certain mindset for that. At least if you're talking about contemporary metal sound. 9% of all projects that I get in for mixing, which is sort of my main part today. I mean, I do a couple of productions every year, but I do a lot of mixing. They usually have a static tempo.
Yeah.
It's like people sort of forgot about
nothing.
That people that music was supposed to or used to be a little bit alive. And sometimes you get something that it's not recorded to a click, and that can be cool. But in pre-production, one of the important parts for me is finding the tempos of the parts, and my tempo tracker. If I would show you a session there for the latest Moonspell that I'm doing now, or Angra or whatever, it will be up and downs, all over the song. Sometimes even for a fill-in or something.
Sure.
I try to sort of catch the right thing, and I think that's fairly unique in metal. I'm not sure, perhaps loads are doing that, but I never saw it on bringing in external mix products, and I think people are missing something there.
Moving on to recording drums then, what's your approach with kick drums? Do you tend to go with double miking or triple miking?
That also depends. I have sort of a philosophy. I used to record drums with loads of microphones. I mean, like 32 to 40 microphones. And then I could choose some, but I'm really trying to scale down, so I sort of have a upper limit in my head. I don't go over. So if there are a lot of toms, a lot of cymbals, then I try to use few microphones on the kick as well.
Right.
That might not make sense, but it just I don't like when the overall track count gets completely bananas, which you tend to do anyway. But sometimes I would put just one microphone on the secondary kick and two microphones on the main kick to sort of for all the standard
drive.
Standard beats. I can have a little bit of sub kick in there or something.
Sure.
And as soon as there comes a double thing, I don't need the sub kicks on both kick drums.
No.
Or I might lower or mute the sub mic completely from the first one as well.
Sure.
And I don't mind the kick drum sounding a little bit different, because when you add some triggers, which you sort of have to do, then it gets so equal anyway. So I don't mind the acoustics being a little, the acoustic sound being a little bit different.
Sure. And when you were getting up to 32, 40 tracks with your drums, Jens, were you miking top and bottom on the toms, or never bother with that?
Yeah, I do. If there's also a rule, if I have 3 or less toms, if I record, I'm doing Millencolin at the moment, by the way, it's a little different, but then definitely, because I love that,
right?
Especially on the rack toms, it's great. But if you have 5 toms, I don't bother.
That's a bit much, okay.
Yeah.
And what's your approach if you've got a drummer with a lot of cymbals, like for example, Opeth, he's got a pretty wide cymbal pack. Do you tend to mic in pairs, or go for a spaced pair, or individual cymbal mics?
I never do the individual cymbal miking. I'm too much of a classically schooled engineer for that. But I'm a pragmatic, so I don't quite believe in the XY or ORTF sort of catching because at the end of the day I need the crashes to be able to be loud, and I don't want the hi-hat to be too loud, and the metal drummer, he would bang away too much, or her. What I tend to do is go, if possible, I will only use two microphones, and a little bit more like A/B perhaps. And sometimes I need a center in there as well. That I perhaps won't use as loud, but at least to be able to support. But I spend a lot of time with that sort of placement, and I listen carefully for cymbal volumes. That's another problem. When you're not able to hear some cymbals in a kit, it's usually because it didn't take enough care of microphone placement. And heights. I asked the drummer, what about if we put the cymbal a little bit like this, and this china that is up here? What do you think? And try to reason and find a good balance.